Okay, hey guys, what's going on? This video is actually a request. And I never really got a request like this before. A user named Rachel and Other Stuff sent me a comment saying, why don't you do a video about who inspires you? And I'm kind of thinking, inspires me, what do you mean inspires me? And she went ahead and commented back saying, your favorite artists and stuff like that. Well, when it comes to inspiration, okay, I've been playing guitar since I was 9 years old. When I was 9, like I've said in several videos before, everybody in my family is musical. Every last one of us. It's always run in the family. Or any kind of arts talented. I mean, there's a couple of family members of mine who aren't musicians, but they're artsy. They, paint, make stained glass, stuff, whatever. My grandpa, I was raised by my grandparents. He always said, since I was little, since I was this tall, he's always said, I think you'd be a good guitar player. I want you to, take guitar lessons. And I always said, no, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to do that. Well, when I was about 9 years old, I saw on the Disney Channel, Johnny Lang did this this concert playing the blues guitar, and I thought, man, that looks really cool. I want to try that. So he would have been my first inspiration as far as wanting to learn how to play the guitar and what I started playing, which was the blues. And that's what it started out as. And as I started to that's when I was about 9, 10, and then by the time I was maybe 12, 13, I started getting into actual rock and roll music. And I'd have to say right around that time, my biggest inspiration at that point, as far as the guitar goes, was Slash from Guns N' Roses. Loved Slash. Oh man, he just made it, because what he did was, and everything actually, if you really look at it and you read the history and you really listen and you know music, everything is based on blues, but Slash had a really interesting way of incorporating really bluesy stuff with that rock and roll music, and I really loved that, and I imitated a lot of what he did, and I learned a whole lot of Guns N' Roses songs when I was a kid, and learned all the solos and everything. And then I guess I was around 14, I got my first Ozzy Osbourne CD. Not an old one, not none of that old Ozzy stuff, which to me, I don't care for it that much. This was that one that he released back in, I think, 2000, 2001, called Down to Earth. And I thought, oh my God, I've got a new guitar god, Zakk Wylde. And whenever it gets around to the point where you all hear me play the electric guitar, you'll see that my idol still to this day is Zakk Wylde. That's who I play like. I mean, if you know Zakk Wylde, if you know Ozzy Osbourne, the Black Label Society, anything that Zakk Wylde's ever played for, and you hear me pick up the electric guitar and play, you'll know. I mean, it's no question. There's been people sit in on band practice before, and I've after it's done, I've gone up to them and I said, so can you tell who my biggest inspiration on the guitar is? And they say Zakk Wylde. I mean, every other note I play is a pinch harmonic, and I dance up and down the fretboard, with both hands, tapping and all that good stuff, So that's mainly my guitar. But now I've, picked up more acoustic, and this has just been recently. When I was about 17, I joined this little group. It was so cool too. We got put on a TV show this one time when we were at this festival that comes around every October in New Albany, Indiana, and it's called the Harvest Homecoming. And we were a cover acoustic band, and we would play cover songs. And this is the second largest festival in Indiana. It's humongous. It takes up like the entire downtown of New Albany, and they block it off, and then so we're sitting there and we're playing our songs. It's me. I'm a lead guitar player because I've always had the skills to do the solos and all that stuff. And there's a rhythm guitar player, and then there was 2 other people on bongos. So we would do that. We always had us a little crowd, and we had like a little baseball cap, and people would throw money in there, and we had a notebook full of songs. And we'd be like, pick a song, and they would, run through the list, and it was pretty much any song that you could think of, we would play it acoustically. We had about, a couple hundred of them, and we would just do that. And then this one time, these guys walked by, and we were sitting there, and they said, "Hey, how long y'all gonna be here?" And we said, "All night, you know, till it closes." And they said, "Hey, well, we'll be back. We'll rock your socks to Nashville." And we're like, yeah, whatever, you know, we didn't think nothing of it. Then, you know, we're playing, maybe a half hour later, this film crew shows up, and we're just, you know, just playing, just, you know, and trying not to, you know, and at the time I had real long hair, so I just kind of hung my hair down on my face and looked down at my guitar because I was nervous. I was a kid, you know, I wasn't used to performing really. And they set up this camera. They panned one camera on me. They panned one camera on the guy who was doing the singing. They hooked a mic up to him. They hung this big boom over us, and they had one camera panned on the bongos, the people on the bongos, and it was like insane. And they had us play a couple of the original songs that we wrote, and then they interviewed us. And I was underage at the time. I was only 17, so I had to sign this little release waiver, you know, so that they could show me on TV. It was A&E, a show called Random One. They said they was over in Louisville trying to find something, because that's such a huge city, and they couldn't find nothing, so they came over, you know, and they put us on that TV show. That's when I very first got into acoustic. And here with YouTube, I got back into it after, you know, a couple of my songs. And as far as acoustic goes, I'd have to say my inspiration, Jack Johnson. He's a good, you know, he does a lot of good acoustic stuff. And Incubus. You know, they're not really acoustic, but they have some acoustic stuff. And Nirvana, their Unplugged album, kind of, along with the style that I already had. It's difficult. It's a conglomeration of a lot of different stuff. Like, some of the songs that I write are meaningless. Like that song I have, Virgo, Indigo, Sweet Summer Sun. I've done the time here, the time is done. Everything is set in stone. Blue haze, blue wave coming down my way. The haze is green like the waves on the highway. We burnt our bridges, they fell so silently. Well, I was at the top of the pop rock, now I won't stop because the cock block doesn't like what I got. Well, every time I look into the book, I get shook by the shit cooked. Every time it gets good, everything is said and done with me. Now those words, they do nothing but rhyme. I just sat down and I was like, I'm just going to write a song that means nothing and all it does is rhyme. That song has no meaning to it whatsoever. But then there's the song I have called The Game Called Life. Like every other morning, blocking out the fables, read the ink pen graffiti on the picnic table, thinking about everything that's gone to waste. Some seeds blossom high, some seeds sadly die. The rock wind habit is a tear in my eye. If only the truth we could bitterly taste. You know, that right there, that is meaningful. That, like, every bit of that is something that's happened to me. But like the chorus, the somber cloud, well, it brings me down. The clock reminds me of my fate. We're destined to die, but nobody knows why. Well, is this life just a game we play until we fade away? You know, that right there, that's the kind of stuff. It's difficult. There's no real inspiration there. It's more like, because I got into performing when I was in an acoustic band, used to play open mic nights and stuff, and then when I was 20, 21, I started playing bigger shows. Like, you know, I played some little bars and some little pizza places, and I've also played at, and I still hear radio commercials all the time, ICP at Expo 5, you know, Metallica coming to Expo 5. Well, I've played, we shot our last DVD on this stage that all the famous bands come to and play on, you know, so, and when you're performing, especially if you want to write a song that you want people to like, you got to think, okay, how can I take my situation and my thoughts and my feelings and make it so 100 different people can relate to it. It's difficult to do, and sadly, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but sadly, a lot of it is bullshit. It really is. I mean, because everybody feels differently. Everybody reacts to situations differently. So I can't sit here and say, well, this is how I feel about it, and you're not going to exactly relate to it. Like if I write a song, like my song Soulfly. I done forgot how it went. There we go. Sorry, it's been a long day. Look at life, this bloody knife. Look at everything and look at how you're living a lie. Now you're scarred for their attention. Oh, what does that mean now? That's the part that you failed to mention. So dazed, so confused, so mutilated, suffocated and abused. You're on the floor to live no more, 'cause what you feed off of is pain from everyone you adore. And the pain is so true. Oh, the sympathy and pity is here for you. Oh, the narcissism failed to seize. So nice knowing you, my friend, but rest in peace. Now something like that, that's more like that was taken from an idea to something that actually happened, but in order to make that something that a whole lot of people could probably relate to in one way or another, I had to it's really difficult to explain. I've had people come up to me after I played that song on stage and ask me why I'm singing about suicide. You know, so it's difficult to say what the inspiration is there. It's more like, as far as nowadays, all those people that I just told you about that inspire how I play and this and that, that's one thing. But then when it comes to what I actually do now, I'd have to say that the biggest inspiration is all the feedback that I've gotten from fans outside of YouTube, fans that I had from band actual music listeners that, you know, because you have to have a listener's opinion is the most important thing, and that's really what it's about now. If that explains, if that does it, I know this video's going on for a while, so I probably got to cut it off, but yeah, that's basically it. Yeah. By the way, don't forget to what are you doing? Don't forget to show the love and the support for the free t-shirt giveaway. Like I said, there's no real instructions. I don't necessarily want you to do this or want you to do that. Just, you know, write me, video response me, comment, whatever you got to do. So, alright, well, I'll catch you later.